You buy a game for 60 bucks, play it for years, then one day the publisher flips a switch and it's gone forever. That's exactly what happened with The Crew, and it sparked a movement that just hit 1 million signatures. But here's where it gets wild. The biggest critic of this movement just quit game development entirely. Signatures on their European Citizens Initiative petition. This isn't just some random online petition either. This is the real deal. When you hit 1 million signatures in Europe, the European Commission has to legally examine your proposal. And what they're proposing could change gaming forever. Here's the deal. When publishers shut down online games right now, they can make them completely unplayable. You paid for it, you downloaded it, but without their servers, it's just dead code on your hard drive. Ross Scott from Accursed Farms started this whole thing after Ubisoft killed The Crew. He's asking for something pretty simple. When companies end support for a game, they should leave it in a playable state. Maybe release server tools, maybe patch in an offline mode, just don't brick the thing entirely. The campaign actually needs more than just 1 million signatures, though. Ross Scott's being smart about this. He knows some signatures might be invalid. People mess up their names, use wrong ID numbers, that kind of thing. Some well-meaning fans outside Europe even tried to help by signing, which doesn't count. There were these weird overnight spikes in signatures that had everyone worried about bots. So they're shooting for 1.4 to 1.5 million signatures as a safety buffer. Smart move. But here's where the drama starts. Remember Pirate Software? Jason Hall, the guy who streams coding and game development? Back in August 2024, he came out swinging against Stop Killing Games. He made these videos saying the campaign was too vague, that it would crush indie developers with legal burdens, that it would impact every live service game that exists. He claimed they were specifically targeting single-player games with DRM, which Ross Scott says is completely wrong. The gaming community split hard on this. Some people sided with Pirate Software, saying he had valid concerns about implementation. Others accused him of spreading misinformation. Charlie from Penguin Zero said Pirate Software constantly missed the point and wouldn't admit when he was wrong. The campaign actually lost momentum after his criticism went viral. Some supporters blamed him for nearly killing the movement. Then things got personal. Really personal. People started review bombing games published by Offbrand Games, the company Pirate Software co-founded with Ludwig. They were attacking Rivals of Aether 2, a game he had nothing to do with developing just because his company published it. Ludwig was not happy about this. On the exact same day Stop Killing Games hit their 1 million signature milestone, Pirate Software announced he was done. He quit Offbrand Games entirely. His statement was pretty clear about why. People were attacking all the games they published, trying to mass review bomb them. He called the behavior unhinged. But wait, there's more to this story. Pirate Software was already dealing with other controversies. In January, there was this whole World of Warcraft hardcore raid incident where 2 players lost their characters because of something he did. Then in June, someone made serious allegations against him about emotional abuse and sexual exploitation. He denied those claims, but the timing of everything just kept piling up. Some people think all these controversies together pushed him to quit. Others think he was looking for an exit anyway. What's interesting is that he claimed being made the villain actually helped Stop Killing Games gain support. Kind of ironic if you think about it. So what happens now? The European Commission has to validate all these signatures after July 31st. If they pass validation, we could see actual laws requiring publishers to keep games playable after shutdown. Ross Scott might even get to speak before the European Parliament. Imagine that! A YouTuber changing European law. The UK's moving on this too. They got over 150,000 signatures on their petition, way more than the 100,000 needed for Parliament to consider it. Though the UK government already said they have no plans to change consumer laws about this. We'll see if that changes with parliamentary debate. Some game companies are already testing the waters. A few publishers started experimenting with offline modes and private server tools for games they're planning to shut down. They see the writing on the wall. This whole situation shows how much power consumers actually have when they organize. 1 million people said enough is enough. They want to own what they buy. They want their games to last, and they made enough noise that governments have to listen. The controversy with pirate software adds this whole other layer to the story. Here's a guy who makes games, teaches people to code, built a following around game development, and he ends up becoming the face of opposition to game preservation. Then the backlash gets so intense, he quit game publishing entirely. What do you think about all this? Should companies be forced to keep games playable after shutdown? Was the backlash against pirate software justified, or did it go too far? This could be the beginning of a new era for digital ownership, or it could fizzle out in European bureaucracy. Either way, reaching 1 million signatures sends a message. Gamers are tired of their purchases disappearing. They're tired of not really owning what they buy, and they're willing to fight for change. The next few months will be crucial. If the European Commission actually drafts legislation, it could spread worldwide. Game companies operate globally. They might just make these features standard everywhere rather than maintain different versions. Your game library might actually belong to you in the future. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.